Okay, in this lesson we're going to look at how to graph on the TI calculator and how to adjust the window, the viewing window. So let's graph the equation negative 2x plus 23, and we'll use both viewing windows and to see which one shows the best picture of the graph. So let's go ahead and do this first one. So I'm going to clear out any equations I have in there. And we have negative 2x plus 23. So negative 2x plus 23. Now this first viewing window on part A is the standard viewing window. So I'm going to press zoom and go down to number 6. Or you can just press 6. Okay. And this does not give me a good sense of the shape of the graph. I mean, we know it's going to be linear, but we often want to see where it crosses either the x or the y, and sometimes both. In this case, we want both. So let's go ahead and make some adjustments. We make adjustments to the window by pressing window. Now you can probably tell, if we didn't have this choice here and I want you to choose your own window, what would you do? Looks like we need to increase the x max and increase the y max. So let's go ahead and do that. And I've specified what that needs to be. So we'll go ahead and decrease our x min a little bit, increase our x max, and for now we're not going to worry about the scaling. We will change the y min and make the y max a little bigger. And let's press graph. This looks a lot better, right? I've got a good sense of the shape of the graph and where it crosses. Now, one thing that's sort of aesthetically not very pleasing is all these little notches on the axes. We can change that by pressing window again. And notice this XSCL, that tells me that within this 20 unit interval here, I'm going to have one little tick mark at every unit. And let's change that to maybe 5. And we'll change this other one over here to 5. Once you get beyond about 10 tick marks, they start to kind of clump up, and it's kind of hard to tell. Now this will help you out actually with the graph, right? I can tell at 5, 10, 15, 20, somewhere between 20 and 25 is where it crosses the y-axis, and 5, 10, 15, so somewhere between 10 and 15 is where it crosses the x-axis. So not only is it sort of aesthetically more pleasing, but it actually can be some useful information when sort of analyzing the graph. Okay, another one. So graph the equation y equals 8x plus 20, and do the same thing with those viewing windows. So y equals, let's clear that out first. So 8x plus 20. Let me make this smaller. Let's go back. This first one is a standard viewing window, so zoom 6. And there we go. So not bad. I get a good sense of the shape there, but if I were to increase one of these, which one would you increase? So here we have the x max, y max, x min, y max, right? So if I did not want to do all of these, I'd look for the one here that had increased y max, which is this value right here. Looks like it's going to be C, but let's do all these just to go through the exercise. We'll press window, negative 25, 25, whoop, yep. We'll ignore the scaling for now, negative 10, and 10. And then press graph. I don't like it. We can get a better sense of the shape than that. Let's go back to the C part. Negative 5, 5, negative 10, 25. That doesn't look bad at all, does it? We got a good sense of the graph, and I'll let you try D on your own. One thing I may want to change is the Y scaling here. So let's go back to window and change that Y scaling. So I've got 35 units here. I don't need 35 notches. Maybe 5 there. Again, this gives me a good sense. Make this a little bigger. I've got 5, 10, 15, 20. Looks like it crosses at 20. Not a coincidence. That's that value right there, the y-intercept. Okay, so the x-intercept, 5, 10. Actually, these are 1 units, right? I need to go back to window. Yeah, so that x scaling of 1. And so that's at -1, -2, -3, so somewhere between -2 and -3. Okay, and there's just a reminder, you've got your syntax of xmin, xmax, ymin, ymax. Okay, determine which window shows the best shape of the graph. We want to see both of them. Now go ahead and try this one on your own. Okay, welcome back. I know you tried it. So let's press y equals, and I'll do 9.2x plus 27.3. Okay. So I'm going to start off with a standard viewing window. That's usually where I start on this, just to get a sense for where my graph is. Okay, again, if I'm going to change something, I'm probably going to change my y max. So again, I'm going to look here, which one, only one of these has a y max that's been changed. D. So let's see what that looks like. Change it to a 30, press graph, and there we go. And I'll let you change the scaling. Again, maybe make that scaling y scaling 5. You don't have to, it just makes me happy to do that. And again, we can see our y-intercepts at 27.3, and graphically, does that make sense? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, yep, somewhere around in there. Okay, so that's just a continuation of that example. And I went ahead and graphed these out so you could see what each one of these looks like. And the one, again, that looks the best is this D right here. It's the only one where I can see both the X and the Y.